Dude, that Peloton Apple deal, Dave, man, that announcement today, it has potential to be devastating or amazing or nothing for Peloton. I can't wait for it. I just can't wait for it.
And we're less than 10 minutes away from them starting their live thing, so this is super exciting. Let's talk a little about what we're expecting.
Hold on. They both have a press conference going on at the exact same time,
yes.
Right? So that means something is up.
No,
we know something's
not necessarily. Apple does these events all the time. Every time they release new products, they basically do these events. This is normally it would be at the Steve Jobs stage, and Tim Cook would get on stage. This one's going to be virtual. It's going to be pre-recorded, very similar to the Worldwide Developer Conference, and that was so fun to watch, by the way. I love Apple. But anyway, they're going to do something similar today. Peloton, they don't really have a history of what they do. This may be their first, they've only been a public company for a year. This might be their first analyst day, investor kind of conference. But it does happen to line up with the exact same start time and duration as the Apple event, which is curious, but I'm not actually expecting any crossover between these two events. Are you, Chris?
Listen, I don't expect anything. I run scenarios, okay? So they announced these meetings on the same day, by the way. Meaning the day they both announced they were going to do this meeting was on the same day, for the same day, at the same time, which is
by
really
the way,
odd.
Just after Peloton did an Apple Watch integration into their new bike, too.
And just after Peloton earnings as well, which happens. It's not totally unconventional for a company to do that, by the way, but it's still a little bit suspicious. So here's what's really interesting. Peloton, some of their big fitness instructors have said to expect a big announcement soon. We don't know what the announcement is or when it's going to come. What is expected today is for Apple to announce Apple Fitness with a fitness subscription, meaning there's likely going to be some subscription for Apple Fitness, which is supposedly a competitor to a Peloton digital or any of these digital apps out there. Apple, you know what? Why don't you do the subscription piece for the digital, meaning Apple charges $10 a month, whatever they want to charge, and Apple Fitness subscription comes with full access to all the Peloton instructors. Don't you think Tim Cook would love that? We're going to find out in a minute.
Oh, look, it's starting.
Apple's going to announce whatever they're going to announce first before they'll let Peloton announce anything, if there is a deal to be had.
I just love Apple.
You are such an Apple fanboy.
Look at those. This is their actual headquarters. And you know what? I learned that the last time they did a show like this, it was actual drone footage, not an animation. Oh, there's Tim.
We got to go there, Dave.
Good morning and welcome.
This year, we wanted to push the Apple Watch workout experience even further. So we are creating amazing workouts with incredible music delivered by the world's best trainers. This is the first fitness service built around Apple Watch.
Apple Watch fitness service.
Trainer, time, music.
Abort mission. Abort mission.
Cashing out my Peloton.
Get your finger on the sell button.
I already sold most.
You sold most of them? Look how much you can do with this world-class trainers. They're doing it. World-class trainers.
Peloton just dropped $2.
I'm out.
All right, so that's a lot of information to take in there, Chris.
I just bought PTON puts.
Did you?
Dave.
I've just added to the screen a chart overlaying Apple's stock price and Peloton. You can see that right as they made that announcement, Peloton completely fell through the floor. You were selling at the time. You got out of your options. Is that right?
Yeah, I got out of all my options, and I'm buying puts to protect my equity position right now. They're not showing up for some reason. But they're not having.
They're talking about Apple One now, which is their bundling of online services, I believe. Let's check it out.
You can play anytime, anywhere. Apple One also includes Apple News Plus, with leading newspapers and hundreds of magazines. The family plan lets you share all these services with up to 5 members of your family.
Temporary
plus
this week,
200
85
gigabytes of
puts.
iCloud.
Okay, that was wild, guys, because I had 1,200 call options on Peloton. I sold the biggest 400 of them, the $80 calls, before they announced anything, before fitness was announced, because I just had a feeling that it wasn't going in the right direction. right when they were announcing fitness, and it kind of seemed like it wasn't going in the right direction then. They weren't going to do a PTON deal. I sold 400 of my 85s, and then last but not least, I sold my $490 calls when it was clear, and it was really starting to dump at that point. I just got rid of them. I wish I would have held them because I sold those a little cheap. They've come back up a little bit, but not really. So then I bought the puts, 900 puts. I sold 400 of the puts once I saw Peloton stabilizing, which is surprising. I'm surprised how well Peloton's doing here.
Yeah. I mean, they dropped on this like big news that Apple now has Fitness Plus and Peloton's not a part of it, but they've they've come back up like halfway from that biggest point.
Well, I think people are rational about all this, right? They knew Apple was going to come out with something, right? And it's not really a competing service because we know that Peloton's bread and butter is still selling the equipment, right? And then Apple's not really competing in that space.
It competes with their primary customer acquisition tool, which is getting people on digital first for $12 a month. Apple's charging only $6, $5 or $6 or $7 a month, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Peloton has the best content. I mean, I can't imagine Apple competing with the Peloton content for classes. And so
I think the crew they had on stage, do you think Apple's going to pull it off? Like, it didn't seem like.
No,
I feel like they weren't.
It looked B-.
Are you serious? No, they are not B-.
The person they had.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
The person they had presenting it was also B-.
Are you kidding? Apple is going to have and continue to acquire the best talent out there, just like they. I mean, if you want to, yes, if you're a fitness instructor, you probably would rather work for Peloton just because they've been at it longer and they have a bigger user base. But over time, if Apple does this right, I think Apple Fitness could take over Peloton. You can do bike rides on any brand bike wearing your watch as your sensor, and everything's cool. It's good to go. Whether you have a Peloton or a Nordic Track or any number of brands.
You don't get the power metric. No, you don't get the power metric integrated in, which is a huge deal. You can't, there's no way that Apple can actually do with any random bike the level of integration that they've got with Peloton, especially now that Peloton can auto-adjust up and down your resistance.
Listen, Dave, it's about community, and nobody is going to care about the weird. Apple's at a place where Facebook went and Google went. And you get to a point where it's just not cool to be part of the Facebook, or the Apple community, fitness community. That will never have a cool factor. I feel like there is a window where companies can occasionally pull in and dominate a space that's dominated by a smaller company, the way Instagram did with stories and kind of slaughtered Snapchat with their stories. But that's very rare these days. That's like the exception to the rule more than the rule. I think what this does is it actually validates subscription-based home fitness, okay? Because Apple's going to start marketing this, and then people are going to look at it and they're like, well, do I do Apple or I just go ahead and do the Peloton? If everyone's talking about this and Apple's talking about this, it's a thing now. Well, should I do the best, the one all my friends are on and all my coworkers are on and all the cool people in my life that I follow on Instagram and everyone's talking about, or do I do the other one? And Apple will get a lot of people. They'll get a lot of people, but I think, Dave, it's not about stealing pieces of the pie. It's about making the pie itself, which is very small right now, really big, and then Apple gets a chunk of it, and Peloton wins.
Absolutely,
too,
I think they both will win because Apple, like you say, Apple is just validating what Peloton's doing.
Nick White just had a great comment. Nike Premium is free right now. You're honestly telling me you trust Apple over Nike for fitness content? They have a free version of it, and nobody does it because it's not. It's just people want to do the thing that everybody else is talking about. They want to follow the buzz. It's not 1992, it's 2020. And that's how the human brain works in 2020. People want to feel part of something that's cool, that's on trend, that all their friends are doing, that their family, their coworkers are doing. Like, they want to feel connected in that way.
And perhaps Apple
all Apple's doing is selling random core workouts for $10 a month that people are going to try out and then bail out on. With Peloton, there's actually stickiness. There's full on, you invested in the bike. Like, you had to talk yourself into spending $2,000 to buy a bike and the first year subscription with Peloton, so you're gonna stick with it.
The one thing it does is it validates, and I love it. It validates it because now when Apple's doing it, all of a sudden this is no longer a thing that people are gonna just do for this year during the pandemic and everyone's going to go back to the gym. No, Apple's saying this is the future now. You know, hedge funds and Wall Street and investors and all the above. They're going to go, okay, this is a thing. So who's the leader in the thing? The leader in the thing is Peloton.
What does Peloton announce at their event?
I'm surprised they didn't just get access to the best content that's already out there with a huge library of content, which is Peloton. It blows my mind. I think they made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, you know, Apple tends to do stuff like this, and it doesn't always work, but it's fine. I think it's fine. Apple wants to do it. It's totally fine. They'll see how it works. They're getting their feet wet in this market. I think it's a great thing long term for Peloton. It just might have it's making it more competitive to get those top of the funnel people. That's the only issue for Peloton. I'm really happy because I made most of that money that I lost on Peloton when I got out of those other options. I mean, I didn't lose money. I had $1 million in gains. I lost like 450 of it. I made like almost basically that back, right? So I kind of made that 450 back this morning on the PTON. So I'm in a good place. I have my PTON shares. I have a little bit of a hedge on, like 120K hedge, in case PTON reacts badly when the news, the news is going to come out tonight, right, guys? Everyone's going to be like, oh, Apple's getting into fitness. It's bad for PTON. We'll see what happens. We'll see if PTON reacts negatively or not tomorrow.
There'll be a little news cycle story out of it, but so far we've seen that Peloton had an immediate dramatic reaction to the downside and has all but recovered. So were you too quick to sell your calls and go short?
So for me, it's about risk management, right? I had a crazy amount of money on the table. I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen. I had that money on the table because I thought there was a small chance of there being a partnership. And when the partnership didn't materialize, I'm out. I have a PTON position that I'm comfortable with long term. That's not this position. This is a short trade on a specific scenario. The second the scenario doesn't play out, I must exit that trade. Period. That's what I do. And quite honestly, if I'm comfortable tomorrow, if it looks like PTON's not going to react badly, I'll pull that hedge out. Even if I lose, whatever it is, I'll pull the hedge off. And I think there's a lot of people, a lot of funds, big funds. I told you last week, I was shocked when Peloton dropped as much as it did. I think the reason why it dropped is because there was obviously information out there. It's not hard to get if you're a hedge fund, that Apple's releasing a fitness product to compete directly with Peloton. That information was obviously in the right hands, and people were shorting the stock. Now people are going to have to cover if Peloton doesn't drop tomorrow. Beyond that, I think this is the point where funds that want to build a big position in Peloton, where the price estimates are ranging from between 110 and $130 a share now on Wall Street. It's ridiculous. So it's like everything is set for PTON to recover slowly, and we'll see.